Well, hello there and welcome to my catch-all channel. Today's project will be this Decorative's Katana style sword. It came as a pair of swords that fit together and are stored in a single sheath or scabbard. They have these decorative cobra heads on them that, although they look kinda cool, they are not functional. I want to remove these decorative handles and make something new. The first step is to remove the handle. It's held together with a few rivets, so I can simply drill those out with my hand drill. After removing the back cover, we see that the handle is held to the blade with a couple screws, so we'll take them out now. The tang is pretty short. At first I considered welding on a piece of steel to make it longer, but as this is just a replica sword, there's no need to make the tang longer. I doubt I'll end up in a real sword fight with it. I'm going to start by making the hilt for the sword. It's just a 3/16 inch piece of steel, 2 3/4 by 2 3/4. I'll cut it out using my angle grinder. I will clean it up on the grinder a little and then lay out the slot for the tang. I will use the grinder again to clean up the edges of the tang so the hilt can slide over the tang easily and fit snug. I'll use a straight edge to make sure there are no high spots. I've laid out the slot for the tang and use a center punch to help the bit start in the steel. I'll drill out as much material as I can. Now I can use files and a Dremel tool to clean out the slot. I used a large socket to make a radius on the corners and will use a grinder to form them. They aren't perfect, but they'll do. I'll just need to clean up the edges with a fine file and some sandpaper. Now that the hilt is done, I can start on the handle. I'll use a strip of oak and make a slot for the handle using my router table. Now that both pieces are made, I can glue them together using some wood glue. We'll use the tang to keep the pieces lined up. and then we'll use a few clamps to hold it. Then just set it aside to dry. While we wait for the glue to dry, we can begin on the sheath or scabbard. I'll begin by ripping two 1/2 inch by 3 inch boards down to 2 1/4 inches. Next, I'll resaw them to just over 3/8 inches thick. To lay out the slots to accept the blade, I'll use a few clamps to hold the second blade to one of the parts I just cut and trace the blade onto it. Now we can go back to the router table and cut the slots in both pieces. It will take multiple passes to get the correct slot, and I also mark one end of each piece so I know where to stop before I route through the end.